Hey guys, J77 here. Before I get started, I do want to apologize right in advance if I seem to be a little bit out of it. It's gonna let you straight, even though I am talking to camera. Half of my thoughts are actually with a loved one who's going with something that's pretty much personal. I did explain it further in the other video, but I wanted to give you a clear heads up that if I do sound a little bit mellow than usual, it's because of that. So without further ado, let's talk about the hot topic in the comic book world today, and that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the signing of Megan Fox as April O Neal. Now, this one I found out from MagicExpression.com. A blogger had posted this up. I've read it. I actually commented on it, and I actually went to look for further information about this. And needless to say, they were out there. It came out in full form. Spill.com had mentioned it in an air blog article. A lot of other places have mentioned it, and it has become a very heated and also very angry discussion among bloggers and video makers alike. The last video I have seen was from Enron, the Blockbuster Buster. He had mentioned his disgust for the fact that April O'Neil is going to be played by Megan Fox, and pretty much to say he is boycotting this movie. There's a lot of stuff he brought in that was very. He had a lot of good points to what he was getting at, and it was not him playing a character. It was not him playing the blockbuster buzzer. It was the actual man. You saw the actual expression, and you saw all the points that he brought out. With the exception of one, I do agree that I think the Hollywood is all the producers behind the decision, or the person who is in charge of casting the characters, um, have hired Megan Fox for one reason only. I'll get to that in a minute. But before the hand, when I heard this news, my reaction towards it was a little different. I was more shocked at the fact that Megan Fox was working in some capacity with Michael Bay again, especially after the rocky departure that they both had with Transformers 2. There was a lot of comments that was coming out from both sides that she pretty much left because of the way Michael Bay uh, has sexualized her in these movies, particularly with two, and how she did not like the situation that she was being placed in. She just basically walked away. It's kind of ironic that after that she was starting Jennifer Body, but that's a different story for the day. But yeah, needless to say that she wasn't happy for the treatment she was having, and from that side of the story, that's why she decided to walk away from that particular role. Others believe that she was fired. Um, there's a lot of people who has a back and forth that she was let go by Michael Bay for reasons that only Michael Bay knows. But needless to say, it's something that a he say she said kind of thing that led me to believe that she would never work with Michael Bay again. Now she is being in a turtle film, which is produced by Michael Bay. And I understand that he's not the director, okay, which is something I think everybody needs to keep in mind here. He is not the director. But the fact that his name is still going to be on that credit, the fact that he is running things in Platinum Doom, it makes me wonder about a lot of things like quality change of mind, especially her films over the last few years. And needless to say, they were pretty much non-existent. Many people cited that she took time to have a family, which she has. But let's be realistic. I don't, unlike certain actors who can take a time off and come back, I don't see any films that we're waiting for, any series roles that we're waiting for. The last film, which the name escapes me, was a art house film that no one saw, and it was easily forgettable. Another film, again, Jennifer Body, didn't really care for it. And as for Jonah Hex, I didn't see it, but from what I heard from a lot of diehard fans, it was nowhere true to the original source material. In fact, they added stuff that was unnecessary. And all of those movies, with probably the exception of the one Arnold film she did, have one thing in common, is that she is not depicted in a very good light. In fact, she's depicted more sluttier than others. And I don't like using that word against a woman, but we got to be honest. That's how she is being looked at when these come in these movies, and it becomes a point where it makes you wonder why she's been hired to do Turtles. What she's doing Turtles because they think she can actually deliver and bring this character of April O'Neil to life, or she's just being used as eye candy for the younger audience. That alone, with Michael Bay's track record, even though he's not directing this film, does worry a lot of people. Um, I might as well give you my own quick feeling on some of the Michael Bay movies that were non-Michael Bay, like the Friday 13th films. I didn't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not even going to comment on that. I thought it was just unnecessary. Um, Friday 13th is just like any other Friday 13th I've seen. The dialogue was just consists of cursing, and that's pretty much it. Nightmare on Elm Street, I think it was the better of of his Platinum Dupe production. I still didn't think it was a great movie, but I thought that Jack L. Hurley did a great job in terms of his own spin on what Fred Krueger was, and even though the rest of the character cast I didn't like care for, so it was okay. It was not terrible, but it wasn't great either. It's not something that people are gonna sit there and say that was one of the best Nightmare on Elm Streets. They still talk about the first and third before they talk about this film. They still talk about Freddy's Dead, that god awful one, before they talk about this one. That's just my feeling on that. But the point is that Platinum Doom, in my opinion, don't have a particularly good track record when it comes to movies, especially when they're trying to reboot a certain brand. I don't consider them as a well sought out to do production to do it, and I think their track record speaks for itself. So even if Michael Bay ain't directing, his studio alone is just something I just scratch my head on because there's a lot of decision makers I just don't get. But that's something that the audience of these products is going to have to determine. A lot of them did turn away from a lot of these movies, even though there's rumors of a Friday 13th Part 2. Hopefully, it's not the case. But that's just my own take on Platinum Dude. So when I heard them making Turtles, I wasn't jumping for joy. I was like, okay, they're making a turtle film. Let's see who's in charge, and let's see how much is going to actually stay to the source material, or at least come close to it. I'm not looking for them to make a rehash of the classic Turtle movie, which I can still consider one of my personal favorites, but at least do it where it's respectable, fun, and entertaining. And with Michael Bay, I don't see him and his team doing that. I really don't. And let's be honest here. They're not in it to please the fans. They're there to make money. That's all they care for. I may not like it, but but that's how it is. And if they feel that playing to the younger crowd, playing to their homeowners is going to get them into the box office, they're going to do that. They had done it with Transformers, so they feel there's no reason why they shouldn't do it here. So that's my own take on that. But as far as Megan Fox concerned, as being April, I'll put it this way: out of all the things I did not like about the Turtles trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, is they didn't have a strong April. In fact, I think they had a different April in every film. You can take your pick which one was the best, but I never really considered April was all that in to begin with. I think the cartoon version had the best April. Hell, the one that was in Radio City Music Hall with Turtles coming out of Shell was a better April in my opinion. She didn't do much, so I'm not gonna go nuts on her. When the other Aprils wasn't that good to begin with. So that's just my own take on that. But who knows? To me, I'm not gonna trash her and say that this movie's gonna be bad because of her. There has to be a whole lot of other elements that go through it. Let me see who else is cast with her. Let me see what the overall storyline is going to be. Let me see who's actually is going to direct it, who's going to be around to direct the to help supervise. Let me see all the other elements that makes up a film before I trash Megan Fox. Am I happy she's on as a cast of April O'Neal? No, I'm not. I agree with him 100% that there are other talented actors, and that the fact you have other actors who are playing comic book movie roles. That was something that was unprecedented back in the days. Now you're seeing it a lot more, and to the point where they're actually making those characters their own. Samuel Jackson is pretty much cemented as Nick Fury, and Samuel Jackson is a well-talented, no-nonsense actor. Scarlett Johansson, A lot of these great actors that you never thought be in a comic film or in a comic film, and it actually is running with it. So to me, there should be no excuse to bringing a well-talented actor. Was this a money decision? I'm pretty much sure it is because let's be honest. What besides the Transformers films, what did Megan Fox actually did that was recognizable and famous? Nothing. Seriously, nothing. So it doesn't surprise me that they got her. She's probably cheap. She's probably something that they consider to bring sex appeal to the movie, and that was their decision making. Doesn't agree with decision making, but that's what it is. But am I going to sit there and say that she alone is going to bring down the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that because, like I said, there's other casts that has yet to be named, and until I see who's going to play these other these parts, Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, until I see who's going to be the villain, until I see who's going to what the overall storyline. Because let me be honest, when it first was revealed that the Turtles was going to be made by through Michael Bay production, and how Michael Bay went on to say that this is an alien race, can be bigger and badder, people lost their marbles because they know that's not what the turtles are. The turtles are little turtles in New York that got hit with ooze, which is the only alien connection they have because the ooze was was made by an alien species. Until we see all these combined, then and only then I can decide, well, this is going to be a good film or not a good film, just based on what they're trying to go for. I do say this: he, for the fans who's going nuts about this, keep in mind that most Hollywood studios don't really listen to the fans too much. They will, but not when it comes to a person's track record. And Michael Bay's track record says what he does makes money. Um, that's pretty much it. And to think that this film is not gonna make money, the fans could boycott this film all they want. They still gonna get their money just from those who want to see Megan Fox just for the fact that she's hot and sexy. That's something that has been proven already twice. Um, didn't make it any much better when Transformers 3 came out, and even though the film was bashed by a lot of people, a lot of young people loved this film. They loved the explosion. They loved to sit down and have films that has no substance other than the fact that it's entertaining and it's fun. So there is an audience for that. My only hope is balance it out. All right, you want to have something for the young crew, fine, but also have something for the diehards to actually enjoy and grab onto. That's all I ask for. Balance it out. Give us a little something for everybody. Um, Again, there's a lot of elements could be. I'm not gonna go nuts. Let me see what else, who's being hired for the job, and then and only then I go, yeah, they made a mistake. Yeah, this is not good. They're going in the wrong direction. They're only talking a specific crowd and forgetting uh, what really made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles what they are today. But if they're able to balance it out, if Megan Fox is the only bad thing to come out of this movie, and everybody else does their job to get some good actors in this film, then I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a chance. Um, and who knows? Megan Fox may actually surprise people. She may actually be good, and they may actually take that character seriously. So let's not go too nuts yet. Again, I'm not happy with the move, but it's not something that I'm considering the end of the world. Again, I look at those three turtle films, those three actresses who played the turtle films, and I gotta tell you, I was not that impressed. I really wasn't. To me, I was more into the turtles than I was with April O'Neal's story. I didn't care about her, Quincy, and Casey Jones. I really didn't. I actually liked the Casey Jones in the movie, but I didn't really care for her and her love relationship. I just didn't. But let's just find out what's going on. I mean, I think but let's just find out what the other cast looks like. Most of all, let's just get a synopsis of what they're going for and see if it works. So that's my personal opinion. That's my thoughts on it. I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. Um, I know a lot of people don't like the move. That's fine. I love to hear your point of view on this. But to say that she's alone is going to ruin the movie, I'm not going to say that. It has to be a lot more than that just to ruin any hopes of having a good Turtles movie. But you guys may disagree. I'd like to hear from it. Until then, J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.